A spooky 3D printing story just in time for Halloween. Well, kinda. It's today's video, and it's coming up next. Alright, what's up everyone? Back at it again. It is DW Darkwing Dead. I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out today's video. If it's your first time here, be sure to click the subscribe button before you leave because I have a lot more videos on deck in the 3D printing realm for the remainder of this year that you are not going to want to miss. But for today's video, we are going way up north. And I'm going to be building a helmet today for a young Canadian lad. No, not him. This video today goes out to Logan. No, not, like, really? No, not that one. So as a lot of you know, I do builds and commissions for other people, and today's story starts with Logan's mom reaching out to me saying how he wanted a helmet built for Halloween. She told me how he was working all summer, doing all kinds of odd jobs, working hard, and he had finally saved up enough money to get one of my helmets. So for me being a dad, this kind of hit home because I have 3 kids of my own. Obviously, you've seen them all in some of the videos that we did with Funko Friday and some of the builds. So it was really cool to hear that there is a young, ambitious, hardworking go-getter working for something that he wants. You know, nowadays, a lot of kids, they just expect things handed to them. They just cry and whine, and mommy and daddy gives it to them. And it really motivated me to really step up my game and build him an awesome helmet. And the fact that he's from Canada. I mean, Canada, baby. I even got the shirt. I mean, Canada has so many great things. I mean, hockey. Roof Daddy, A98, what's good? Coors Light. Maple syrup. Canadian bacon. Ryan Reynolds. Nickelback. Look at this photograph. Ah, that's funny. I'm super pumped to tackle this project here. Once again, I'm going to be building one of my Metro Cop helmets here today. Definitely going to be upping the ante of the quality on this project. Of course, in this build here, I've got some tips and tricks, and I have a quick look at Featherfill G2. If you haven't heard of it, it is a sprayable body filler that absolutely killed it on this build. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video as there is a little bit of a plot twist, and I have a very, very important message that you're not going to want to miss. Enough talking. Let's get the wheels rolling on this one, boys, and show you just how Logan's Metro Cop helmet came to be. Let's go. So first things first, we had to print all the pieces. Here are the earpieces and the filters for the mask. I printed all of these at a 0.16 layer height and adaptive settings. The back here, I printed this in a 0.2 layer height, also used adaptive settings, and the front of the mask here, I also did the same settings. This did get some stepping with the way it oriented. I'll explain that a little bit later. Here we're going to be using Featherfill G2. This is a sprayable body filler. This is something that I'm going to need my HVLP gun. This is going to come out nice and thick and fill all those layer lines and imperfections in. You can see I've got my compressor going. I've got everything set up. I'm going to get all this sprayed and see how it looks. All right, I got the pieces sprayed and they are pretty much dried. I had to let them sit for about 2 hours here. Started to do a little bit of work on them, so I'll show you here real quick. Again, this is just spraying these with the Featherfill G2. I am going to sand these though because we want these to look a little bit better. I am going to use some of my trick that I used in the last video with the Metro Cop where I do the textured paint and the hammered paint just to kind of hide some of these layer lines, but these look pretty good here. I just took a soldering iron to try to clean this up. I am going to sand this just to make it look a little bit better. Usually when I print this mask, I do it like this. And when I do it like that, this gets all chewed up and you lose the definition in here. Well, this time I printed it like this. And this all turned out really great, but the whole top area just had some stepping and some trash and stuff. So I actually went ahead and sanded this, and because I wanted to show you guys how well this Featherfill G2 fills in, and it's just from sanding it with 220 and putting a coat of filler primer on. Look how much it smoothed it out. So this is no sanding. There's the dogs. Look at the baby. Oh, come here. Look how big he is. Oh my goodness, I have dogs everywhere. Look at these guys. Anyways, you can see, I mean, there's still distinct layer lines. We want to knock this out of the park here for Logan. So I'm going to go through and just sand all this real quick. But I'm gonna show you just how good it does knock it down on 320. Look at it makes it here, check this out.
We've had a million nights just like this.
So you can see here that was not long, I think maybe 15 seconds. But look how, and that's 320, look how smooth that is. I mean, that's completely removing those layer lines. That trick that I do with the textured paint and the hammered paint, the weathering, all that, even if you leave that, most of that's gonna get filled in. So I'll even show you here too by hand. Do 220 and I'll do 320. But even with this, doing it by hand.
So let's get down to business.
You can see how much it's filling all that in. So something like this, even if you have these little lines, wipe that off, prep it with isopropyl alcohol, denaturated alcohol, something like that. Clean that off, throw some filler primer over it, hit it again with 320, boom, you're done. It'll fill it right in. I'm gonna kind of go through and clean up some of the more troubled areas. Overall, he's pretty clean, but I'm just gonna try to hit these high areas here. It's really hard to kind of sand in there. I'm really just gonna work on the big flat areas and let my paint technique do the rest. So I'm gonna throw my mask on here, get these guys sanded down. It's probably only gonna take me maybe an hour, if that, to get all this stuff knocked down. The little filters and all that, those will be real quick. I am gonna use the palm sander with that one. So I'm gonna get all these guys knocked down and we'll take a look at them right before we get the filler primer on. The primer we're gonna be using, that feels really great. So get these sanded down, we'll see how they look.
Mama, please don't worry about me. So let's get down to business.
All right, so we've got everything dried now, and I'll flip it around here so you can see the progress. All right, so here we've got all the filters. And again, we only did one round of sanding. U-Pole Expert Sandable, this stuff is awesome. It has such great filling ability, probably one of the best filler / sandable primers you can use. So looking at this stuff here, we've got pretty good results. You can see we're getting things pretty smooth. Dude, come on, you gotta get out of here. You're gonna knock everything over. Stop. Dude, really? All right, let me try that again. So we got some pretty good results here with the earpieces and the filters. They are looking pretty smooth. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty darn good. Now, what I'm gonna do with this is some of these more heavily affected areas, that's where I'm gonna work in with the textured paint. So I'm gonna focus on these areas. I'm gonna kind of build up the textured paint in here to help hide that. And then I'm gonna do the hammered paint over everything. Just here, cleaned up really good too. This whole, using the textured paint and the hammered paint, it's all gonna make this thing turn out really, really, really good. The shed open here, because I don't like painting outside for primer. I don't mind it, but when it comes to, you know, final coats and whatnot, I don't want any bugs or anything, or grass or something, or this guy knocking stuff over. So I'm gonna get everything set up in the shed and start getting some coats on this, because we gotta wrap this one up for Logan boys here. Let's go. Serious right now? Get out of here. Go. All right, so once I got the tortoise situation under control for the second time, I started adding the textured paint to specific parts of the mask. I let that sit for about 20-30 minutes, and then I added the hammered paint. The hammered paint is really nice because it gives almost like a leather-esque. It's just an interesting texture, but again, it'll help hide some of the minor imperfections left over, and it just really gives a cool, worn, aged look to the helmet. So I went ahead and did that to the front of the mask, to the back of the mask, and then to all of the additional filters and earpieces and everything that was left over. Once the hammered paint was on, I was able to go ahead and do our black base. I do the black base again for weathering, because we're going to put a top coat on this and do like a chipping effect. So here you can see the filter, and I've already put the Liquitex on. If you Want to see the full process, kind of watch my old video, link will be in the description, but you can see I'm kind of masking everything off to add these top coats. So here, taking a look at the front of the mask, this is after I put the Liquitex on and my gray top coat, and now what I'm doing is peeling this Liquitex off. Again, this is a rubber masking fluid, and it works really great for this effect. One day I'll do a really in-depth video and actually show my whole weathering process coming to life. Might be sooner than later, but here just kind of peeling it off a little bit with a pair of tweezers, being very careful not to scratch that gray top coat. And you just kind of peel it off with your finger. Again, you want to make sure that your paint is fully dry, but it's a really, really cool effect. Takes a little bit of time and patience, but trust me, it is worth it in the end. You can see here, after doing some dry brushing, black wash, this is one grungy mask. Definitely looks beat up, looks like it's fresh from the video game, and that's the exact look that I was going for. So I basically did that process to all the earpieces, the filters, and the back piece, and after all was said and done, everything was finished. Basically just had to put everything together, doing a combination of plastic welding and hot gluing. Once I let the helmet sit, gave it some final touch-ups here and there, we were ready to take a look at the mask, and here it is. So taking a look at the mask, it's definitely a little bit different than my quote-unquote no sand Metro Cop helmet that I did. You can see that it's a lot smoother. Those faint PLA lines really aren't visible anymore. So just that single stage of sanding made such a world of a difference. You can really see it in the back. But again, that textured paint, that hammered paint, all the weathering that I do, those layers of additional top coats, they really help fill it out, and it really fits this helmet. Did a couple things different on this mask, including a little bit more weathering and obviously the blue eyes. But overall, in the end, this helmet came out looking absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to see what Logan thinks of it. So now that I shared a little bit of my Halloween build story with you, and you've seen just how the Metro Cop came to be, let me give you my final thoughts and wrap this video up. All right, guys, well, there you have it. There is a look at the build of yet another Metro Cop helmet. You can see how I did a couple things different, how that feather-filled G2, you know, definitely up the quality. You know, comparing it to my last no sand Metro Cop, this one just looks way better. The fine attention to detail, how I was able to keep, you know, all of the sharpness and crispness in the helmet. You know, I had to do a little bit of sanding on top with that stepping, but that new position that I tried, I'm definitely going to be using that from here on out, and didn't compromise any of the integrity. You know, I was definitely scrambling on this project a little bit. I knew that shipping was going to take a little bit longer, and I really wanted to add a lot of fine attention to the detail, the weathering, the dry brushing, the chipping. It was a grungy helmet, but I think it looked, you know, absolutely awesome. Can't wait for Logan to get his hands on it. And update, the package was delivered in time. You know, we know that Logan was working hard all summer, raking leaves. Hopefully he wasn't shoveling snow. All that hard work shouldn't go unscathed. So for this particular build here, there is no charge. I think it's awesome that he worked hard. He was ambitious, you know, a definite go-getter. But Logan, I want you to keep that money and use it towards, you know, maybe some hockey equipment. Do you play hockey? You should.
Hey, coach, she's a shooter.
But save that money, man. Use that towards, you know, maybe some hockey gear or a pair of Jordans or maybe a 3D printer. You know, maybe you can see this video and it will inspire you to get your own 3D printer and you can start building some stuff. I really enjoyed building the helmet for you. I know you'll love it. So, Logan, I hope you have a happy Halloween and have an awesome time. Make sure to follow up with me and let me know how everything went. So I told you there was going to be a plot twist. Well, there was. Yes, the package was delivered, and unfortunately, the package was damaged. So the package actually arrived yesterday, and yeah, leave it to USPS to make us Americans look like idiots. This helmet was packaged super good. I don't know what happened. I was frantically going back and forth with Logan's mom. We were able to get it assembled. It really bothers me, you know. Anytime I do a commission, a build, I try to go above and beyond, and you know, even more so I did on this build, and to have it broken, it really just, it broke my heart. So luckily we were able to get it together. Luckily it is a helmet that is supposed to be beat up, but it still doesn't look the way it should. Another plot twist here is I was informed that next month is going to be Logan's birthday. Well, Logan, don't worry. I am going to make you another Metro Cop helmet on the house free of charge. It is going to be even better. I am going to do things on this helmet that I have never done on a Metro Cop helmet before. I'm definitely not going to ship it. through the United States Postal Service. We'll do FedEx, we'll do UPS. We have a little bit more time. I only had maybe 2.5 weeks to build this helmet and then get it packed and shipped out. So this we have basically a whole month. So I am already printing the parts. I got the ball rolling here. So this next helmet is gonna be even better, and I promise you, it will reach you in one piece. So that is my Halloween adventure story, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, anything like that, or maybe you shipped something through the post office that was damaged, what? Go ahead and drop me a comment. Love to hear your guys' stories, your feedback, and of course, if you have any questions, you know I'll hit you back. Lastly, if you do enjoy all things 3D printing, cosplay, DIY builds, tutorials, product testing, everything I'm doing on the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I got a lot more videos on deck, as I said. The next video is actually another Halloween build that's gonna be posted after Halloween. I'm gonna be showing you how we did Darkwing Z's Halloween costume. We went ahead and printed the Dr. Doom mask via Mystery Makers 3D. We also 3D printed some other stuff. So he did a lot of work on this helmet. This helmet came out really, really awesome. So if you wanna see just how great Darkwing Z did with his Doom mask and his costume, make sure to click that subscribe button, come back and see us. That's it for now, guys. I gotta get ready for tonight. It is Halloween. I have so many things I have to set up and get ready, so I gotta get moving. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and click the subscribe button. Until next time, it's DW out. Later.
One more night to get this. We've had a million.
For Canada!